a great heel drive. Not only makes it easier to learn new skills, but it also makes the skills you already have a lot easier and more powerful. These are my 8 favorite moves you can do right at home with little to no equipment to improve your heel drive. Now, if you have a loop, a stretchy loop, or a stability ball, a yoga ball, those would be great. You can make do without those, but that's really the only thing we're going to be using for this list. So let's get started. The first one you can do, again, with or without your loop, but you're going to lie on your stomach. If you have the loop, it can go right around your ankles. You're going to place your forehead right on the floor. And you're going to pick one leg and you're going to lock it out, make sure it's straight, and you're going to kick into your loop. The other leg stays pressing against the floor. So that's the first exercise, the loop drive. The next exercise is going to be loop scissors. So for that, you can lift both legs and you're just going to go back and forth against your loop. Again, keeping legs really, really straight. So those two are really good for increasing the power at the beginning of your heel drive. You can do sets of 30 of the loop drive where you're doing the one leg at a time and the other leg is pressing into the floor lightly. And you can also try 30 up and down of the scissors as well. And that one is just good for dynamics of being able to switch the legs quick, things like switch leaps, things that are more quick, that can be really good. But for things like the front handsprings, aerials, round-offs, all of that, that is more of a one power move. Those tend to get more benefit from the loop drives that you're gonna do the single leg at a time, so you can really max out how far you're stretching that band. So those two are really good. And then we're going to do rockers next with arm movement. So for this, you can lie on your belly. You're gonna start with your arms extended in front of you. Now I'd like you to lift arm and leg, and now as we kick the heels up, we're going to drive the arms open. So for that, it's really good to make sure that you're keeping your heels glued tightly together, that you're coordinating the action of your head diving down as your feet come up, coordinating the arm action of opening as your heels come up, and that is a really good training for front layouts. You can do the move if you want to with your arms staying by your ears, and that might be more helpful for front handspring vaults. That one you can try to do 15 to 20 really good ones, and if you want to do more sets, fine, but I like quality over quantity with that one. And so the next one that we'll work on here is one that helps with endurance and precision of the leg position. So what you can do is go on your belly, and I just call them open closes. So you're going to start by lifting your legs. Now I have seen this one done off of a surface as well. And so if you did it off a surface, you would be on your belly, your legs would dip down, then you'd lift them up to this position, and then you'd open and close. So obviously adding that leg lift, if you're letting your legs hang off of a vault or a couch or something else, we'd add a little bit more to this, but really the move is the hardest when your legs are in the top position being held and opening and closing. So I don't see a problem doing it right on the floor, honestly. So I'm here, I'm opening as wide as I can, and then I'm closing all with straight legs. So I'm pretty tight in my hips, so I'm not getting a huge open here, but you might find that your straddle does open more, and that's great. But either way, you're just trying to always get to that feet together position. So a lot of people have trouble when they do, especially vaults, where one leg is going to sort of surpass the other, and they're going to find that their feet are no longer side by side. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but ideally we would keep those legs side by side because that's going to increase your power when you have both legs working together. So that is just a good way to reinforce the position of having those heels together during your heel drive and not allowing your stronger or more flexible leg to overtake. So the next thing that we can move into, you're going to need a chair for this. So I'm going to use the side of my tumble track wedge. But you just want to lie on your back so you can put your legs up against a sofa or up against a chair, something with a little bit of padding would probably be nice. And then we're just gonna lift the other leg up. So we've got one leg straight and one leg up in the air. And arms can be just loosely by your sides. You're gonna lift your body, pressing your calf into the object, and then lower down. So here we're just lifting up and down. So this one obviously is isolating your single leg one by one. You can do both sides, of course. And the other thing you could try is you can lift up so that you've got both legs engaged. And now we're gonna lift one leg, and then we're gonna drop, and then we're gonna lift the other one. So we're staying up, and it is good to have even a slight arch to your back just to reinforce that we're not here doing it, right? Because if you're here doing it, you're not getting the glutes anymore. So pressing those hips up a little bit extra is good. And then you're gonna notice that your legs might want to roll to the outsides. There's different schools of thought on that. So you're gonna be a little bit more powerful and strong if your legs roll out generally. You're gonna get more glute, but you're also gonna get your outer hamstring, which is fine, but if we wanna make sure we get the whole hamstring, because there's inner, outer, and middle, right? So in order to get the whole hamstring, it's better to keep the legs straight. So you can play around with both of those, but I see value in each. So sometimes I'll do the leg neutral, the base leg neutral, and other times I'll allow my leg to roll out in order to get the best of both worlds with that. So the next one that I would like to show is a stability ball challenge. So this one is, it actually comes more from the PT side of things. So, let's see here, got the weights, so, this one can be done with just fists. So, what we're gonna do is lift, and then we're gonna make the fists. I recommend starting with that. And we're gonna drop one down, and bring it up, and then the other, and then bring it up. And the idea is to not let that ball roll around very much, and to not obviously fall off the ball would be ideal. So if that isn't bad, you can add a weight. So right now I've actually got a 2 and a 5, which it'd be better to have the same. And what you could do as well is you could do a water bottle, a large water bottle, a can of soup. I don't know if a glass of wine would be safe in regards to your carpet, I don't know. But whatever you can grab that has some weight, and then you're gonna go ahead and bring the arms up. So right away you're gonna feel a little bit less stability, but then you're gonna fly to the side, and then other side. And I'm definitely feeling the challenge here. So it's challenging my core, my glutes, my hamstrings, in order to stay stable while I do that. So the thing about this one is you're actually getting your results from this out of the instability. So people see an exercise like that and they think, wow, you know, what's the big deal? All I'm doing is flying my arm out and it's not really a lot of weight. Well, that's actually not the point of that one. So that one is really designed for you to hold your body up in space, and then we're adding a stability challenge. So by moving the arms to the side, you're changing your center of gravity, and your body has to find that again. So this is a really nice functional exercise. I found that when I had a lot of trouble with pulling my hamstrings a lot, this exercise helped me so that I was not having that problem anymore. And I remember doing 3 pound in each hand, and then I worked my way up, I think, to 5, and that was really all it took. So it was pretty nice return on investment there for me. And then the final one I wanted to show is a leg curl with heels on the ball. So the leg curl with heels on the ball really helps with just general lower body power. Now you can do this one if you don't have a ball. You can put your feet on a paper plate, something that is slippery, a magazine could work. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated. I like the results of it with the ball, and I know a lot of people do have a ball at home, so I'm gonna show it with that. But like I said, if you don't have a ball, you can just put your feet on a paper plate and do something very similar. Furniture sliders as well. So those are all good options. I think Tumble Track makes one as well called the Val slider, or there's a lot of different sliders that you can look at. So we're going to lift, and then we're going to roll. Now here's the thing. I see a lot of people keeping their toes up, which isn't bad. It's just one way to do it. But I'm going to show you one that I think works even better. It's important to start with your heels at the widest point of the ball. So we're lifting, we're gonna roll in, the soles of the feet touch the ball. So you'll see that's a small difference, but my actual foot is flat on the ball, and it makes it so much more intense for me. It probably will for you too. Right in my hamstrings. So I'm getting that right back here. Now, obviously, when you're trying to do your tumbling, you want, or vaulting for that matter, you want a straight leg heel drive. I get that. But when you work the muscle in all different positions and all different angles, you're going to have more power available to you. So for an example, handstand push-ups, although you don't want to cast with bent arms, getting better at a handstand push-up is going to make your cast better because it just strengthens all of these muscles in that area. So something like this can be good to include, and it's also something where a lot of people will do a leg curl at the gym, or they'll have a partner help them with leg curls. And the thing with this one that you can do at home is the ball is going to give you that resistance for you, or the paper plate, and you're going to get that strength building. So this is one of more of the strong power exercises. Think squat, think push-up, like the basics, right? So in gymnastics, we don't only want to do the skill-specific conditioning, which is important, don't get me wrong, but you want to have that nice, strong base to build off of too. So any type of overall fitness that you can work on is only going to help you out. So I hope that these tips are helpful and that you can incorporate them into your home training and allow it to help your gymnastics.